Welcome to an example in which we are trying to find a side here of a triangle, that's x. They want us to find the length of side x using the law of sines. So notice first off that this is not a right triangle. Let me make precise note of that. Not a right triangle, right? So in other words, we cannot use our SOHCAHTOA stuff because SOHCAHTOA, remember what does H stand for? Hypotenuse, right? Sine, opposite, hypotenuse. Same thing here, right? And a hypotenuse, that's only a right triangle. That's like a squared plus b squared is c squared. That's the side opposite the 90-degree angle. That's only in a right triangle. So we can't use SOHCAHTOA. So to find this x here, we can't use the stuff we've been using previously in the course. We can't use SOHCAHTOA. So what are we going to do? Instead, we're going to use the law of sines. So use the law of sines, and in the next section, the law of cosines, when you don't have a right triangle. That's what this is about. Because we do not have a right triangle, we use the law of sines. What is the law of sines? It basically says that any side, you could call this, well, how about I just draw a triangle right here. You have any triangle, and you call this point A, B, and C, and across from A, capital A, angle A is, right, this is angle A, is side little a, and across from angle B is side little b, and across from angle C is side little c. For whatever reason, we usually make the angles the capital letters, the points, the angles, capital A, B, C, and then the sides across from them, the little a, b, c. We always match up an angle and the side across from it with the same letter. They're both A, capital A and little a. Like these are both B, capital B and little b. And these are both C, right here, capital C and little c. So, okay, so what? Well, what it says is little a over sine of capital A is going to be equal to little b over sine of capital B is equal to little c over the sine of capital C. Or you could turn it the other way around also. You could put the signs on the top. Sine of A, whoops, that wasn't very well done. Sine of A over A is equal to sine of B over B is equal to sine of C over C. So that's the law of sines. It's either any of those. All those are equal. In other words, the ratios, the fractions, the ratios of a side and the angle across from it, the sine of that angle and the side across from it, are always going to equal. A over A equals B over B equals C over C, even upside down. They're all equal. The ratios, the fractions with the various sides of the triangles and the angles across from them are equal. Okay, great. So what does that mean? Well, that means we can do this problem quite easily, because if we want to find x, we just need to match it up with the angle across from it. That'd be the 41 degrees. So we're going to say x over the sine of 41 degrees, right? So we don't care. You don't have to put A, B, and C on that triangle. It doesn't matter. Just understand that this law of sines here is basically saying any side and the angle across from it are going to be equal. So the ratio of a side and the sine of the angle across from it are going to be equal. So those two are going to match up, and then I'm going to match up these two. Why those two? Because they're the only other two where I know both the angle and the side. I know that side, and I know that angle. So that would be 18 over the sine of 23 degrees. Those have to be equal. See what I did there? I just matched up a side with the angle across from it, a side with the angle across from it. That's the law of sines. So if you put sines on those angles, you can have the angles both on the top, like I did here. You can have them both on the bottom, like we did there. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now how do we finish solving this problem? Well, now we just cross multiply. Remember that? Remember when you have two equal fractions, you can cross multiply? X sine 23 is 18 times sine of 41 degrees. Is that good? And then last step, how do you get x alone? Divide by the sine of 23 degrees. Boom, boom. X is alone. There it is. Hit the buttons on your calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode. So check your calculator, because why? Because these are degrees. right? So check your mode on your calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode, not radian mode. And crank out 18 times sine 41 divided by sine 23. I'm getting 30.22298. I think they usually want four decimal places. So it'd be 30.2229. This A, here's the fourth place right here, right? So that's going to round up, right? You put the stop after the fourth place. There's the fourth decimal place. Fourth place past the decimal. 29 is going to round up to 30, isn't it? 30.2230. There we go.